Ticking everyone, log on now. The episode opens with King dreaming of the Collector again, only this time he's able to listen to Bellows talking to the Collector as well. Bellows continuing to promise to let the Collector out, just adding on to the deal that the draining spell has to finish working first. You can tell even by the tone of Bellows' voice this time, he's completely full of fecal matter. Usually Bellows is pretty good at covering his voice to make his BS sound genuine, but even I could smell the stench of that live from here. King eventually wakes up from his nap on the blimp with the Luz rescue crew, only these guys aren't getting along very well. King seeing this feels bad that not only can he not do enough to help Luz, but these guys can't even help each other get there. This becomes a reoccurring theme throughout this episode, i.e. King wanting to help stop the Day of Unity as much as he can, but is constantly getting sidelined so he won't get in danger. Looks like it was hunger pains the whole time, huh? And I couldn't have thought of a better time myself than to drop the Mittens nickname origin in a finale episode. The mystery is finally solved. Cut to the Titan's head where Bellows kicks off the Day of Unity, telling everyone with the power of the eclipse, wild magic will be wiped out forever, leading to all the Coven heads taking the center stage. We then see Ida and Rain's side of things as they prepare to say goodbye. Good lord, did those scenes hurt. Especially when Ida turned her back and saw the vision of all her Hexside classmates smiling, just to fade to the present day Lilith and Rain looking incredibly depressed. It looks like Bellows was onto them after all, making Darius and Everwolf move from each side of Ida to be replaced with Gray and Terra. How fitting that the other two Coven heads that played prominent roles in the story before take their places. Also, it was really cool to see how the markings Bellows did for the draining spell were extremely similar to the projection that appeared when he first encountered the Collector. Once again, very fitting since the Collector was the one who gave Bellows the know-how on that spell. Bellows teleports himself back to his Titan head chamber where the Collector eagerly awaits to be freed. I can't believe this man had his pilgrim clothes on under his Emperor uniform this entire time. I get those are your Earth clothes, but good lord homie, I bet you reek. He tells the Collector he's only got enough Titan blood to make a single trip back to Earth, meaning he won't free him with the Titan blood. Taking pleasure in this fact, actually. These were some very sinister scenes because even though we knew it wasn't true yet, it felt like Bellows had won already here. He ditched the Collector, he threw Kiki aside, had the portal working, everything that he had hoped for was in the palm of his hands. Not even being phased when Luz came out of the bubble instead of Hunter because he already expected it. And that's how you start a fight right there. Back on the blimp, Hunter and Alador notice their Coven sigils start to glow, looking a tad worried, eventually getting ambushed by another blimp knowing who they are. Hunter tries to take it down from the inside but is sent falling to his demise. Thankfully, Willow was there to rescue him. I guess she owed him one after what happened in Clouds on the Horizon. One blimp down meant nothing since two more were waiting in secret, sending the ally blimp crashing into the ground. Back at the head, Ida's curse starts to weaken the draining spell, but Terra and Gray don't let that escape their eyes. Ida's disguise is broken, which ensues a fight between all the Coven heads. It was so cool seeing all of them in action, even if just for a little. Not gonna lie, I didn't expect the Potion Coven heads' go-to attack to be a stank breath of death, but hey, I'm still happy that we got to see him do some stuff. I can't help but be a little annoyed at how dumb these guys are, though. They're just like Odalia in the sense of being blinded by greed / the thought of having more power. The draining spell commences as originally planned, with the real Rain being substituted in for Ida. Cut to Luz and Bellows continuing to fight, Bellows complimenting Luz on how she's able to combine glyphs at such a young age, whereas it took him years since it felt like the Titan didn't want him to have that knowledge. Yeah, no shit he doesn't want you to have it. You're literally trying to wipe out all natural life in this realm. After Bellows is able to get a hold of Luz, he gives her an opportunity to come with him to Earth, saying he genuinely doesn't want another human life destroyed by the Boiling Isles, and I actually believe his sincerity here. I'm pretty sure he said another because he believes his older brother's life was destroyed after he learned to accept the ways of the Isles, which of course we know how that turned out. It's actually crazy how this man believes he's doing the right thing. His racism knows no bounds. Realizing he can't get through to Luz, he decides to just encase her in stone instead. It appears this spell was activated via the glyphs on his arm, which is cool. They glowed when he clenched his fist. Luz, noticing a Coven sigil glove in the background, comes up with a quick plan for Bellows to stop her petrification, saying she'll be his guide to modern-day human civilization as long as he spares Luz's loved ones. He agrees, so they try to shake on it. Little did he know, Luz was concealing the sigil glove with a glyph the whole time, branding him with one. The ultimate swindler was swindled himself by a teenage girl. How the tables have turned. The draining spell begins to take full effect now that the eclipse is set in. All the Coven heads start to pass out, most of them in regret after realizing what the draining spell is actually doing. Bellows begins to go berserk after being tricked like this too, turning into the same beast seen in Hollow Mind. See, this makes me wonder, if Bellows really was able to go back to the human realm, would he even be able to survive for that long? He's been kept alive this whole time because of magic consumption. With magic not working on Earth, wouldn't that in theory just cancel out the palisman magic? But at the same time, someone like V is able to shapeshift on Earth, so I mean, We now see King falling in and out of consciousness after the blimp crashed. Alador is left behind to deal with the Abomatons, and this is the last we see of him for the remainder of the episode. When King finally comes to, he notices a crack in his skull while they ride to the head. You can see a lot of the animation budget went into Belos' monster form. Whenever this freak of nature moves, it looks so smooth. You see him schmoving behind Luz like that? It's so good. King is put to the side again by Gus being told to stay out of danger. He falls down some steps where he finds Kikimora still lurking. She lets King know about how the Collector is the only one powerful enough to stop the draining spell. He's a child from the stars whose power even Belos feared. Hence why he never planned to let him out in the first place. Wait, so let me get this straight. If Kiki was listening in on Belos' combos with the Collector all this time, how on planet Earth did she not know about the draining spell? I just don't get it. This is what leads to King's opportunity to finally help. The kids continue to fight Monster Belos with Gus using one of Gray's magic amplifiers to get in his head, showing the memories that led up to the murder of his big brother. This means Gus knows exactly what happened between them. If we're gonna get any kind of details about those events next season, it's going to be through Gus's mouth. The monster confronts Hunter, morphing his face back into regular Belos in an attempt to manipulate him. He also notices Flapjack and screams Caleb before transforming back into a monster. So this confirms several things. Belos' brother is named Caleb, and Hunter calling himself that in any sport in the storm wasn't a coincidence. Plus, Flapjack was Caleb's palisman all those years ago because he screamed Caleb after looking at Flapjack. Hence why Flapjack is so drawn to Hunter, with him being a Grim Walker clone.